Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. I am your very, very, very grateful host. And in studio with me, Parker. What's up, Park?
What's going on, Josh?
Oh, we're good, brother. We're good. All right, so let's. We got so much to talk about. So much to talk about. I couldn't hear you on the mic. That's why I said that. But we're good. I mean, from the Louisiana Senate race to things going on in New York City, and we might even talk about grants. We had city council member Andy Nakan on Friday. Parker, you missed that. That was great. That was great.
No, I know. I wish I was here.
Remember you played the clip of a certain exchange?
Yeah, I saw that was one of the topics.
Hey, and he did, he's such a classy guy, you know. He just stands his ground in a polite way, speaking for the folks. A lot of his council members did a good job, too. But he talked about federal grants, and, man, you got to be careful. Some of them are great. But a lot of them, if not all of them, have some kind of strings attached. If we get to this topic in time, it might shock you how relevant it is. How silly it is, some of the requirements of some of these federal grants. All right, so let's go to the U.S. Senate race here in Louisiana. There is a poll out. You might have seen this. Not sure if Moon or Carol covered this or not. You've been in. So the poll, so headline is, this is the headline you're going to see. You might have seen it already. Julia Letlow, 41%. Jamie Davis, 37%. Undecided, 22%. This is a 4-point race. That's what the headlines, some of them, of what you'll see across Louisiana today, mainly online. 4-point race. Can you believe it? Now, before anybody goes and runs with that number, we may need to know where it came from. You know, the source. Kind of like, well, what are they talking? How can this be? So according to several outlets, the release, which was by the Public Policy Polling Survey, it was released by the Louisiana Democratic Party, and the release did not include the underlying details of the poll, and that is important. It just gives you the bottom line. Well, this is what the numbers are. And then you have some outlets running with it, which is even more bizarre. Have you been keeping up with this U.S. Senate race, Parker?
I personally have not.
Well, that's okay. You come in the show every day and we talk about it.
Yeah, I trust to get my info from you guys.
Well, absolutely. And then our callers are brilliant.
Yeah,
and,
we do have good callers.
And to our streaming folks, we did fix the audio problem for our callers. And shout out, go visit us at rumble.com. I didn't give our shout out there. We are live broadcasting from the KPEL studios here today. But that's important where all the numbers come from. How did we get to 41% to 37%, Letlow to Davis? What? All right. So the poll, it doesn't mean the polls are necessarily wrong. I don't know about that. But it means we don't have enough information to evaluate it the way we'd evaluate a fully released poll. I made sure to delicately say that. Who was sampled? I mean, these are this is a great example of if it were a Republican. I need a better voiceover for that, you know what I mean? But if it were a Republican and that released this poll, I would imagine we'd get some good, fair, objective questions like, who was sampled? Who did you poll? Who did you ask? What was the partisan breakdown? You would think that is a tab on a poll. You need to know that. What was the methodology? What was the margin of error? So these outlets don't give any of this because the Democratic Party of Louisiana did not give this to them. And Letlow's campaign immediately attacked that point, essentially saying Jamie Davis got the poll he paid for, and he's not releasing the underlying data. And that should tell you a lot. That's what the Letlow camp is saying. I think it's a fair point. So, Do I think Julia Letlow is suddenly in a 4-point race for the U.S. Senate? No, I don't. I think she's way ahead. But the poll is still worth talking about. It tells us what Democrats in this race, the leadership believes their opening is. Jamie Davis, look with his Farm Bureau hat. Well, I still don't know how he got away with that. But Jamie Davis trying to run a populist campaign, except as Lane pointed out, until you go to his website. And I got to give him credit. He puts it out there in writing. But if you look at the campaign ads and you look at some of the talking points, very much a populist campaign, which is not unwise. Trump has run at some points a populist campaign, to say the least. He just gets in there and does what he said he was going to do, and then some. And sometimes the then some gets him in trouble. Sometimes it's really good. But I'm happy he's there. And I don't know if Jamie Davis is happy he's there. But I think Julia Letlow is. I'm pretty confident she is. She was endorsed by him. But the populist campaign, especially in Louisiana, you can understand why Mr. Davis would run on things like affordability, rural Louisiana. Think about that. Working people, small dollar donors. These are the populist talking points. These are the things that resonate across the spectrum. So it's not unwise for him to do that. I didn't say that the Democrat leadership was dumb. The fact that they're even in the game, being the party of slavery and all of their history, to include right now being so factioned, I mean, the leadership on the Democrat side has to be some kind of smart. I mean, only that party can be the minority party in the Senate and still call all the shots. It's amazing. It's amazing. But I digress. Go back to Louisiana. So Mr. Davis is trying to present himself as a Louisiana first candidate. Whoo! That sound familiar? I'm not like those other Democrats. Didn't we hear that before? I'm not like them. I'm a different kind of Democrat. Man, you are running for Senate. You're going to be a freshman senator. You're going to do every single thing to the T that Chuck Schumer and whatever other leader wants you to do. And if you don't believe me, ask the squad. Pelosi let them chirp. Then she went with the whole sit-down child. You remember that? You remember that? Did you, I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you were inspired to wear a white suit after watching some of the squad a few years ago, with President Trump. And you were kind of younger then, but it was a thing. I don't know if that was an inspiration to you. I don't know if people in your class were like, those guys were so motivated with their white little suit, standing in solidarity, going to stand up to the big old orange man. No inspiration over there?
I don't really recall that day for me.
Well, that's okay. It might have been there around the country. Who knows? Maybe other high schools at the time. But no doubt, Mr. Davis is trying to walk that tightrope, kind of like Governor John Bel Edwards. Sounds a lot alike. I'm not that kind of Democrat. Now, financially, he's done better than I expected so far. He's raised just under $2 million, including about $1.6 million. That was just in the second quarter. And this part we're going to talk about in the break, but check this part. Reportedly, of that 1.6 million, 60,000 donors. Okay, now if you just stop right there, that's a lot. That's a lot. 60,000 people. I don't care if it's $5 a piece, whatever. That's a lot of folks saying I'm going to get behind this. But it's 60,000 donors across all 50 states. So that's real money. But notice that last part. Across all 50 states. All 50. Are all 50 states, are they voting in this election? This is still Louisiana. We check ID. Anyway, guys, we're going to take us a little break. Me and Park, we're going to be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. All right, let's see here. We're going to continue our conversation on this massive poll. Guys, Julia Letlow's only 4 points ahead. Well, that's according to the Louisiana Democrats Party, Louisiana Democrat Party. Now, hey, I said earlier in the last segment, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's right. I think pretty much she's way more ahead than 4 points. But we got to talk about it. We had a little family feud on the Republican side. There's a lot of folks, a lot of good people that were standing behind a good man, John Fleming, and a lot of good people standing behind a good lady, Julia Letlow. And I have no doubt that Mr. Jamie Davis, I really, from all accounts, from what I've heard and from what I've seen, is a very nice gentleman. That's what I gather. Okay, that's what I gather. Seems like a happy guy, but make no qualms about it. And this is just the nature of where we're at in our country. There is no more independent thought in the Senate. Very rare, very rare. You'll see it every once in a while in the House vocally, but not necessarily getting anything necessarily across the finish line. So this seat is either Republican policy versus Democrat policy. Are we going to vote for Schumer? Like, if you can't, so to my friends, my fellow Republicans, and my fellow folks that live in Louisiana that just want good government, if you can't pull yourself to go to the poll and vote for Miss Letlow, which I think you have a lot to vote for, a lot of good things to vote for, you don't even have to vote for her or vote against Mr. Davis. But you surely can go in there and reasonably vote against Chuck Schumer, because that is an absolute, no questions asked vote. They toe the line. It's a system. I didn't say I like it, but it's a system. I'll use a word that they use down the street a lot. Process. It's a process. It's a little process. Julia Letlow is still operating on an entirely different, stratosphere financially, on a financial scale. And you got to have the money to get your message out. Now, I don't like when it's used to just attack folks. I'm sure you don't like that either. You can point out differences. Differences are totally fair if they're based on facts. I think the folks are tired of that other stuff. Her Senate committee has raised roughly $6.2 million, with about $1.43 million cash on hand as of June 30th. It's August 24th, so that was the last reporting date. I'm sure she has a lot more than $1.43 million. But regardless, that's still no small laughing matter. Now, notice the other spin, though. $6.2 million she's raised, so that means she spent $5.13, according to these numbers, just over $5 million in that primary. It just kind of goes to show you why there would probably be some loving that needs to happen between now and this election. But you got good people behind Miss Letlow. And I wish I could give you more personal experience. I don't have a lot of personal experience with her staff. I just have a little. Tiny. And of those experiences, they were pleasant. They were nice. Seems like a very team, because I was talking about things that are going on outside of her district. And they could have told us to go take a hike, but they didn't. So that's good. Now, Jamie Davis has roughly, and this is June 30th, guys, roughly $479,000 cash on hand. That is quite different. That's $1 million difference, cash on hand. And this is supposed to come from June 30th all the way through. You're going to have to build on that. But I don't think Jamie Davis, I mean, if you have a poll that's covering all 50 states, what makes us think that we're not going to have donors from all 50 states? He already does, 60,000 of them. Him and Bernie Sanders, they're competing. They're competing for who can get lower than $27 average donor.
Average donor, $27.
He don't like he doesn't like billionaires now. He's okay with millionaires because now he's won. How does a socialist become a millionaire being in the Senate? I mean, really, how does an open social... I'm not calling him anything that he's self-proclaimed. He's the burn. Got to feel the burn. Bernie Sanders, burning through your money. Yo money. Not his money, though. He's okay. So financially, oh, you have something?
I was just gonna say fun fact about old Bernie.
Yeah, what you got?
Back when I was in like, I don't know, 4th or 5th grades.
Good time.
When he was running for president. I don't remember what year it was. Maybe 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, I just hated Common Core so much.
Oh.
And I remember there was like a debate on live television one day, and he said that like one of his key points was that he was going to delete Common Core. So for 5 years of my life, I didn't even know what Republican and Democrats were, but I knew that one guy wanted to do away with Common Core. So if I was able to vote, he would have had my vote back then.
So Byrne would have had 4th grader Parks vote.
Oh, I think he would have had every 4th grader's vote.
Well, of course, he promises Play-Doh and snack time, all with someone else paying for it. I would love him too.
But yeah, that was just off-topic random fact that I think of every time I hear Bernie Sanders' name.
Bernie has had a good foundation with you in your life.
Yeah.
Byrne hadn't done anything to you. He got you at Common Core.
Yeah, he had me at Common Core. That's all I needed to hear.
I got you. I think it's pretty impressive that a young man that age would even know what Common Core is. That's pretty impressive.
It's because I had a little sister, so I had to. So once she was in 1st grade, I was having to help her out.
Yeah, it's a trick that parents play.
Yeah.
So you're the most recently educated in that material. Son, get over there and teach your sister.
Yeah, all I heard was, I didn't learn it this way, but you did, so you got to teach her how to do it.
Okay. I didn't consider that dynamic.
Yeah.
I bet you there were a lot of families in Louisiana and across the country, but in Louisiana, there's probably a lot of them that said, I have no clue, but your brother just learned it. Or your sister just learned that, man. I'm not sure if they still do Common Core over there, and I'm sure someone can call us and educate us. Again, hey, to our Rumble folks, we love you guys. To our streaming folks, Don Ho, I agree. So Don Ho said, I wanted Fleming, but I'll vote for Letlow because, duh. That's his words. And that's scientific, too. Yeah. Follow the science. So Julia, Miss Letlow, again, $1 million difference as of June 30th. I'm sure it's big time difference now. But then you got the whole politics, I mean, Davis has a difficult road in Louisiana, you would think. I mean, this is the deal here. On abortion, which someone needs to talk to him about this. On abortion, he supports restoring or codifying Roe and has argued that government should stay out of the decision between a woman and her doctor. That's a conservative principle, he would say. What's government have to get in? Well, who's protecting the kid? And I know it's because someone's going to be hurt in that situation. Someone's going to not be represented. It's unfortunate. I didn't create the creation process, okay? I'm just saying, all right? Now, you're either looking at it through the lens of the mom, you're looking at it through the lens of the dad, or you're looking at it through the lens of the child. And no one ever looks at it through the lens of the child, I feel like, in government.
One cool fact I would like to add that but I think this would be Jamie Davis's best thing that he has going for him as far as this goes.
Not his Farm Bureau hat, because that's he's rocking that one. And wears it well.
I got it put up here on Ballotpedia. 401,000 people voted Republican in the primary. 344,000. This is like approximate. It's not to the exact number, but it's in that thousand. Voted Democrat. However, of those 344,000, 163,000 voted Jamie. Second place was Gary Crockett with 90,000. So, but with the Republicans, 179,000 voted Julia, 113,000 voted John Fleming, and that was for the primary Republican primary, and then in the runoff It was even closer, 178,000 Letlow, 130,000 Fleming.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that I think there was Gary, and in the runoff, Gary Crockett only got 38,000. Jamie Davis had 152.
Oh, see, that's unifying. Hey, look,
So
no joke. There are some objective signs to show that there is a path for Jamie Davis to become the United States Senator.
Well, because even though there's more Republican votes than there are Democrat, total, I don't think those 38,000 that voted for Gary Crockett would not vote for Jamie Davis. But I have heard quite a few people who voted for John Fleming that said they would not vote for Julia Letlow.
And that's kind of the thing. Like my boy Don Ho over here on Rumble.com in that chat. Man, that's something. I'm just saying. Look, and here we go before the break. I got to give credit to my boy Mr. Blue Wave. Now I'm just saying, way back, way before it was heated, he did pick Julia Letlow and Jamie Davis to be in the runoff. And that was before Mr. Fleming started really making some super headway. And I didn't know any of the candidates on the Democrat side when he said that. So maybe, I'm just saying, got to give credit. And he predicted the Seahawks. Hey, this is all recorded. You could go back and play the tape.
Talking about predictions, Kalshi does only have Jamie Davis at 8%.
Who does?
Kalshi.
Who's that?
The politics stock market betting app.
What?
We've talked about it before. We talked about it when Julia Letlow was going against John
and
Fleming.
my goodness, we're gonna let's go to. Hey, Rumble, stick up. We're gonna stick around. We're gonna talk to you about that. Unbelievable that we're doing this. All right, stick around. Oh, what up, all our streaming folks? Man, yeah, this is cool. We'll move on topics, and we're going to open up the phone lines. And don't go anywhere. We think we had the phone lines figured out. I understand Mr. Producer over here has said that we had a little issue with the audio on the phones. But regardless, Parker, I'm going to get some water. What is this app? Guys, I think this is so unethical. How the heck are you going to gamble on a race?
Yeah, super unethical in my opinion. I think it opens the door easily to insider trading. I just think it's because if we watch because I look at Kalshi a lot, so I watched a lot of the John Fleming during their primary runoff. And at one point, John Fleming was at, I think, 7 or 8% on there, which would be like, it was like $50 to like $700. And then the next day he jumped to like 30%, just to go right back down after people bought in. So, in the words of a stock person, rug pull is the term that they use. And I think that's what happens a lot in these Senate races. People get convinced to buy into the politician that they already know is going to lose, so that the politician that wins will produce the most money in a Bitcoin or Dogecoin or meme coin type of deal. It's considered a rug pull. Rug pull is when you get somebody to buy in low, and once it hits the high, you're the owner of that, so you pull out and you take the profits for yourself.
I like that. Hey, look, we got about 30. No, we got more. I forgot that 2-minute spot. Yeah. Hey, question 8. I'm with you on that. Question 8 says, I just want to be represented, and I don't have my glasses. What does it say?
I just want to be represented, and politicians need to stop worrying about political career and do what is best for their constituents. Sorry.
Question 8. I am so with you on that. But I don't know, man, folks. Some people just want the power. I don't know how to explain it. That's the only way. That's the only way I can rationalize it. To me, I think everybody should run on. Look, this is the term I'm in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is the term I'm in, but things can happen. So I think it's responsible to like if you're in the executive branch, local, state, or executive, go ahead and plan out this term and 2 more terms. Oh, and the federal level, I guess it'd be just 1 more term, and the governor 1 more term, and local here, Lafayette can do 3. So something like that. So you have a plan, but hey, I know firsthand you may not be there second term. So, but I'm with you. I am so with you. Question 8. Keep doing your thing, Park. I'm gonna go get some coffee. You want some?
If you don't mind. Hey, there's
got you,
only
babe.
creamer at this back one. There's no creamer at that one.
But I gotta get the coffee over there.
Maybe. I don't know, do you? I hope he's back on time, guys. We only got a minute. We got to see how quick this coffee run is. If not, don't worry. I'll take over the show, guys. We'll be talking about things that he wouldn't be talking about, though. I'd be talking about sports. God, football season right around the corner. It's all my mind is on. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm not thinking about anything else but sports. That's all I think about. 24/7. And then work. And then school. Because I graduate in December. So. Jack, come on. Give me something to talk about, guys. Give me something to talk about. What do we want to talk about? Oh, yeah. Like we talked about on the Friday show. The government rescinded that 5th-year eligibility for those Louisiana football players who had already declared back to their schools for a 5th year after Louisiana judge had granted them a 5th year of eligibility. The U.S. revoked it after giving it to them. So they were on the team. They were off the team because they were too old. Got back on the team, back off the team again. But got to go, guys. Oh, I'm going to rip into him.
Come on, man. It's all right. We haven't even played our offense yet. Foundation, according to their report, roughly $140 million has already been spent or obligated, so we can kiss that goodbye. Another $90 million remains awarded but not spent. And a lot of this took off during the Biden administration. Are you shocked? According to the report, spending peaked at about more than $80 million in 2023 alone. So, what are we talking about? Intersectionality. What is that? Intersectionality is the framework that looks at people through overlapping categories. You know, very important things that, well, I didn't think we were supposed to discriminate based on this, but okay, race, sex, class, sexual orientation, income. You know, there's a whole bunch of case law that says that government is not supposed to discriminate unjustly on these things. So basically, intersectionality takes all of these overlapping categories, and then examines how those different identities supposedly interact with privilege and discrimination and oppression. I got it. And apparently the federal government started putting this language into the grant programs. You can't make it up. Lots of them, by the way. So when we say things like, don't let government get too big, even if we give these guys the benefit of the doubt, it's just not manageable. You know, the first step, part of it, understanding that life is just not manageable. Well, that's not manageable. Not that big of a government. But lots and lots and lots of this intersectionality baked into applications, into the programs. Let's go over a few. Nearly $11 million for a New Hampshire cancer preventing program. Okay, we stop right there. Okay, hey, we're going to fight cancer. Okay, that included the quote, intersectionality of gender and income inequality. Where is that in cancer prevention? Do you know how much $11 million, how that can help a local community across this country? $11 million you can do a lot of things with. There's more. More than $8 million to NYU for a National Center for Engagement in Diabetes Equity Research. Equity. Somehow equity replaced equality. I don't understand it. I don't understand how the same movement can get us to equality and then keep on going. Keep on keeping on past Reasonable'ville into the Twilight Zone, where there are bus tickets. More than $14 million went to Drexel University for a program aimed at supporting diverse faculty in health disparities work. Well, that's $14 million worth. That makes sense. Now, I wonder how much of that went to fighting healthcare or supporting healthcare, fighting disease. And here's the thing. These are just examples. These are just examples. The groups behind the report say the concern is that federal grant making became infused, check this out, with an ideological system that sorts Americans according to group identity, privilege, and oppression. No one's shocked. No one's hearing this and saying, I can't believe that. It happened during the Biden administration. We understand that. But here's the part that matters today. This is not entirely old spending here, okay? So there's some that are still active, and you got these guys that are in the business for just looking for these kind of things. So roughly 100 of the 249 grants that they identified appear to still be active. So we'll talk about some of that when we get back. We'll take us a tiny little break. Parker, don't go anywhere. We're going to keep the phone lines open. I want to hear from you. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Y'all go check out my friends over there at Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. Dr. Kevin at Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic here in Lafayette, Louisiana, 983 CARE. And I got to give some love to my friends at Audubon Home Health. Hey, if you've been in surgery or you're recovering from anything, any operation, and you may be eligible. And if you are eligible for home health, go check out my friends Audubon Home Health. Recover from the comfort of your home. Recover today. Audubon Home Health. All righty. We are talking about federal grants here and how some of these are attached to intersectionality. What the heck is that? Intersectionality. Well, it's what you some weird thing that some would argue unconstitutional measure that is discrimination that should not be here. But regardless, the intersectionality, it's kind of like the bedrock, the foundation, the framework. It looks at people through these categories that overlap. You know, the usual gender, race, class, sexual orientation. There's even income on there. And we gave several examples of this in play. 11 million to New Hampshire, 8 million to NYU, 14 million to Drexel. And again, these are just some of the examples. And we still have some of these grants out. 100 of them appear to still be active. And some have performance periods extending all the way to 2030. And approximately $90 million hasn't been spent yet. So if you look at all the things that went on in Minnesota, if you look at all the things that are identified in New York and California, all the fraud that's being exposed through these federal programs and federal grants, really the grants a lot, across our country. So I think it's great that we have these groups that will call that out. I don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, these groups are asking the Trump administration to do with intersectionality basically what it has done with DEI and critical race theory programs. You know, go through the grants. Look, the guy's only one person, can only do so many things in a day. But I think this is a great next step. And I love folks that come with a problem with a recommended solution. Go through the grants. Find out what's still being funded. Determine whether federal taxpayers should continue paying for it. Chances are the answer is no. I mean, whatever Washington decides to call this stuff, I don't know, DEI, CRT, like intersectionality, some new acronym they'll come up with next Tuesday, whatever it is, just follow the money. Follow the money.
We've been talking so much about roads in Lafayette. Half of this segment, I thought we were talking about intersections.
Yeah, it's true. Intersection improvements give you a little flexibility while you're trying to figure out some things, and you can get some improvement. That's a different type of intersection. This is intersectionality. The different things intersect.
Yeah, I was super confused. I was like, yeah, I heard it. You start talking about it, and then you were like, how some things are like minority and stuff like that. I was like, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
I was like, how can a road be a minority?
Well, here's the thing: you have federal grants coming from the government on road projects that will have baked into it, and that's why some contractors can't. You ask, well, why can't a local contractor do it? On these federal grants, a lot of times they can't, depending on whose administration it is when the grants are initiated, because you could have minority requirements. You could have I know I'm butchering the acronym for this, but regardless, you could have all these extreme liberal woke requirements, and that's what Andy Nakan and Councilman Elroy Broussard were saying at the city council meeting in the city of Lafayette the other night. And they said it very well. There's no need to, respond that way from a little group over there. But that's okay. That's okay. Anything else on this intersectionality? Can you imagine if you're going to choose a grant? Like, let's just talk about this. If this were a Republican, and there were grants that had anything to do with race, anything, what do you think would happen? If there was anything coming from a Republican that talked about sexual orientation or class or even income, and if you would have even thought about, let's take this out. Because this is basically discrimination. It's just like DEI. It's just like these other things that the government, even if people had good intentions in starting it, you are asking in DEI and in this intersectionality, you are asking the government to treat similarly situated people differently. That's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing in the law. The only reason why some of this hasn't been deemed unconstitutional is because it wasn't challenged. And you have an administration that has come in, and another reason why government shouldn't grow the way that it's growing. No, there's no reason why a president should never be able to come in. I don't care what party they are, and by executive order have that much impact on the private citizen. It's just not designed that way. You have a mayor. You have a mayor. You have a parish or county president or administrator. Our founders knew that's where the rubber met the road. The rubber met the road in the family and in the church and in the local community. It worked, and it worked for a long time, and it still can work. And there's a, it's, you're not going to change it overnight, nor should you try to change it overnight, but you can do small little things, although this is a lot of big money for us regular folks. But $80 million in 2023 alone, that's a lot. But $90 million of it is still unspent. So you chip away at it. You take away, because it's not just the money. It's the bureaucracy that comes with it. It's the precedent that it sets. It's the unfairness that it creates. It's government tilting scales in ways that really don't even make economic sense. It's just feel-good warriors, social warriors at the federal level. And I just say, can you just talk to the rest of the folks before you start pushing all your stuff? But anyway, look, guys, we're going to stick around another hour. I want you to stick around. We'll be right back, and it's going to be hot. Parker, don't go anywhere. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Like, we can start talking about aliens. We can talk about a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to have fun with this one.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KVL or Town Square Media.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, and welcome to hour number 2. I remain your very grateful host, and in studio with me still, my friend Parker. What's up, Park?
What's going on, guys?
Man, it's a lot going on.
It is a lot going on.
It's a lot going on, and there's always a lot going on with my friends over there at Dino's. Go check them out on your way home. Dino's Pizza, 3 locations, one on Bertrand, one on Colley Saloon, and one in Henderson, right off the highway. Go check them out. Dino's Pizza. Woo, man. I love Dino's. Very, 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 very fun place to eat, too. All right, you know what else is fun, Park?
What's that?
SpaceX.
SpaceX is fun.
I mean, it seems to be fun.
Anything with space just sounds fun to anybody, I think.
That's right. You know, me and Lane talked about the firmament. And I haven't had any callers call. Oh, no. There was one caller that called on the firmament. And I've read Genesis several times, and you know I did not pick that up. It was my wife that told me that. And I think about it all the time. What? They can both exist at the same time. Space and the firmament. I don't know. I'm not God. SpaceX could be coming. That's coming. All right. Very big deal for Acadiana tomorrow at 11 a.m. in Abbeville. Governor Jeff Landry expected to announce details of a major SpaceX project here in Louisiana. And according to several reporting, we're talking about a SpaceX spaceport. That's what it says. SpaceX spaceport in Vermilion Parish, specifically Pecan Island. You may have noticed that. Several articles in our local press has been out there. We've talked about it. That's about 45, Pecan Island for everybody, about 45 miles south of Lafayette. The reported site encompasses roughly 130,000 acres in that remote coastal area. That's a lot of acres, Park.
Yeah, are you gonna be there for that announcement tomorrow?
Man, I think I'm gonna skip it. You think they'll be mad?
I don't think they'll be too upset. I know Joe's gonna be there. Carol.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna be there. Oh,
Yeah.
Good for them. Good. Well, that'll be huge. Are they gonna do a remote site? Is that what you're saying?
I have no clue.
Oh,
I just know they're.
Am I setting the expectation a little too high? Should I not do that?
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, it's gonna be a live remote tomorrow. No. All right. So the plan, according to the report, is for SpaceX to launch rockets from Pecan Island. Now, who would have thought? Pecan Island launching not bottle rockets, straight up real rockets.
Well, they were talking today earlier on Carol's show. Somebody had called in and they were, I don't know. I know they had a lawyer and I know they had maybe an engineer on as well earlier today. They were saying that they don't think that they're going to use it for launching. They're just going to use it for building them. But I guess we'll find out all of those details tomorrow.
Yeah, because it could be that too. One thing we know is there's a major project coming. It's SpaceX. We don't know anything else other than that. It could be a spaceport where I've heard. Well, let's keep talking about it because the announcement is tomorrow, and it's less. Yeah, it's just over 12 hours from now.
Just a little bit more than that.
18 hours.
Yeah.
That's just over.
It's like
7 hours.
It's like 1.5. I mean 2.5. 2.5.
1.5. You stick with it.
Oh.
Or I don't know. Let's just get over this. Went to law school for not to do math.
How much math do you have to do on a daily basis?
Me?
Yeah.
Rarely any. I have a wonderful staff that can count. That's true. And I'm grateful for them. All right. So the announcement being tomorrow, SpaceX itself has not publicly confirmed the project, and that's why we're all speculating. That's pretty cool, though, that you had those. When you said project, engineer, and lawyer, I thought the project was going to be halted right then and there. I thought that combo, so I had to get over shell shock.
It sounds like one of those like you trying to drill a oil rig. You know, you got to get all the engineers, all the lawyers, all the contracts,
all the people.
Yeah,
all the people. That's why I'm saying, like, these projects at any level, there's so many folks that put their hands on it. Never one person. Interesting. So SpaceX, again, they didn't tell us what it is, but lawmakers, and lawmakers that have been invited, they also haven't been told the specifics. I'm sure there's some that know, and but we don't know the final investment either. We don't know the complete incentive package either. Carol does a good job of breaking those things down. I'm sure she'll look into that and give us some thoughts. I hate to put her on the spot, but I do think she does a good job. But we don't know the construction timeline either. And a lot of the residents there, I remember Pecan Island, reading some folks. Some are excited. Some are really excited. Some have some concern. Anytime you get something new, you're going to have to iron out those wrinkles. I don't think Elon Musk is new to that. I don't think his team is. I don't think the governor is. And the governor's taken 2 or 3 pretty big swings in his first term. These I'm going to call it outside the box or new. Let's just say new big things. This is one of them. And I think as you go through this process, your staff and team and you yourself as the elected official get better and better at communicating and connecting the dots. These things move so fast if you want them to. And the governor wants it to. And if I had to pick between a governor that is wanting to go after it like that or someone that just sits on their hands or this is how we've always done it, give me the first one. So I applaud Governor Landry on this and Elon Musk and everybody else. The concerns on the coast, I'm curious everybody's thoughts on that, because if you are shooting up rockets, it seems like that would have a detrimental effect on the marshland. Parker, was there anything in the reports about alien technology that we don't know about? Like some kind of like you could do it in the marshlands would get better?
Not that I saw, but
no?
I don't think I read through the whole thing either. So
did you see any pictures?
I saw a couple aliens in the pictures, not too many though.
Yeah, if you zoom, you got to zoom in really.
Yeah.
It's like
they're in
4K.
The background.
Yeah, they're actually just kind of hanging out too.
Yeah.
So you would think like they would be plotting and scheming. They're just playing like it seemed like a game of poker. We couldn't like really zoom that far in, but anyway, glad to have them there. So maybe that's the case. Maybe there is.
Maybe this project has been in works for a long time, and that's why these Buckies keep getting delayed.
Oh, you think that's it?
Yeah, you're supposed to have 2 of them about 2 years ago.
Yeah, man, got the site cleared on one. Come on.
We got it all backwards, man.
You think this is
I need
it?
my beaver nuggets. I'm not worried about a rocket ship.
Yeah, move over, Elon. And by the way, there were several reports that went out of its way to say that they don't know whether Elon Musk will be there tomorrow or not. What do you think? You think Elon Musk is coming to Pecan Island?
No.
You don't think?
No.
See, I think that's something he'd do.
I think it's... I don't think that was...
If it's the start of one of these huge operations we're going to go into here in a little bit, I could see him getting up there. And I do. Now, Elon Musk has enough money to do whatever he wants, okay? I don't know if he's going to make the same move that he did in Pennsylvania, the jump. Do you know what I'm talking about? The smiley jump?
Oh, yeah.
Shirt kind of coming up.
I just think even if he wanted to come, I don't think his people would let him come.
Why?
I just feel like
we can't understand him either.
A place like Pennsylvania, I don't.
Pennsylvania's okay.
Yeah,
but down here, no.
Yeah, I think they might say, man, look at where you're going, man. It's a little might be a little too dangerous for you.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I think Elon can handle it. Come on, Elon. I'd love for Elon to come visit.
That'd be super cool though.
That'd be really cool.
I
went to Abbeville. It was good.
That was pretty good.
It's decent. I get it from Angel. He's a man. He's my main man. So I don't want me and Park to fill in any blanks here that haven't been filled in yet. But we'll talk about some other things to think about, and we'll open up those phone lines the second half. And I definitely want to hear from you on SpaceX coming to Pecan Island. That's great. That's going to have an impact on a whole bunch of folks. So we'll talk about that. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Didn't just watch City Hall. He ran.
Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. So, we are also broadcasting live on KPEL. There we go. Live on KPEL 96.5. Also broadcasting live on rumble.com. Go check out me and Parker over there having some fun. We're talking about something fun called SpaceX. You ever heard of SpaceX?
Maybe a couple times. I think it sounds familiar.
Yeah, we were talking about it last segment. All right. So, SpaceX coming down to Louisiana, specifically big announcement tomorrow, 11 a.m. in Abbeville. You're going to see a ton of local leaders there. You're going to see a ton of representatives and senators. And the governor's going to be there, probably members of his cabinet. That's a big deal. It is.
Yeah. I did read the.
Okay. All right. Holla.
KTC reports that invitees will watch a special video where Musk shares his vision for the project instead of him visiting in person. But I guess we'll never know until we get there.
Yeah, he may come bust through that screen
with some WWE entrance music.
Like, that is something he would do.
That is something.
I'm telling you, 100%.
Another thing
with some racing gloves on. Don't know why.
Another thing that I haven't heard be mentioned and I haven't thought about, but I read this article, another article from KTC.
Yeah, please.
That a geophysicist from Professor UL was talking about. He was claiming that he didn't think the effects on the actual land outside of a 2-mile radius would be too crazy. But one thing, like I said, I haven't really heard anybody talk about it. Is what happens when there's a hurricane?
Oh, I'm sure they put that. All right, they had to thought that out. They probably would make it aerodynamic and all the things that you need to do.
But if they're using it, even if they're using it for launches or just building or whatever they're going to do.
Well, they probably have to cancel it when the hurricane's coming.
Yeah, but I would be worried about it destroying a lot of potential things that you have in there that are important.
Yeah, and that's a great point. But you would think, I would imagine this amount of smart people, they probably have taken into account. And I'm sure the state is probably working with them on hardening things, whatever that may be, from telecommunications for other reasons, and to infrastructure as you suggested.
Or maybe Lafayette will get one of those cool
weather
bubbles.
But Elon's going to have to tie his stuff down. We're not sending any state reps or state senators. That is where we draw the line. Okay?
maybe we get one of those weather bubbles, that they use for Air Force bases.
We're going to Google that. I've heard this.
Never heard about that?
Google that. I don't know if that's true.
Man, I'm from Shreveport, man. That's all they hear about. Every storm misses Shreveport, where the Air Force base for Louisiana is.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. All right, listeners. Now, about a year ago, we went a straight month talking about controlling the weather. Now, Park's going to do a little research. I want to see what he finds out. And good job giving the source. All right. So, while he's doing this, I think it's important to know that this is not a happenstance. This has been in the works, as Parker said. We don't know how long, but I would imagine, I don't think it started before Governor Landry, that's for sure. And the reason why I say that, his administration is the one that pushed a series of bills designed to help Louisiana attract a major aerospace project. That was all during this spring legislative session. So that's some quick movement. And when you have an executive that wants to move, the administration will move. And that's good. It's a good thing. Representative Jack McFarland, he authored 2 of those bills. He's now confirmed. He'll be there tomorrow, as he should be. Lawmakers familiar with the discussions, well, they've been on record saying that it could create this one project, or this one initiative could create a major construction boom. We know that for sure. But also followed by 3,000 or more permanent jobs. That is huge. For some perspective here, okay? SpaceX's operation at Boca, China, Texas, which is a place, it reportedly employs about 3,400 people. So when you're talking about potentially thousands of permanent jobs in Vermilion Parish, in Acadiana, we're not talking about another. Just this ain't like just a little bit of ribbon cutting. I'm sure they'll have a ribbon. I don't know. We can all guess on what color. I was gonna go with blue, but I'm feeling gold. I don't know why, so I'm gonna go with gold. Just something about it. But this is something that could legitimately, materially change the economy of this region, this entire region. Service-related industries will also come after such a massive continuing facility that's built. And there's another reason why this makes sense. SpaceX has publicly said, now this is the part I was talking about, the spaceport. SpaceX has publicly said it wants to launch Starship thousands of times per year eventually. So there's a big, way bigger operation than just in Pecan Island. You can't do that from just a singular launch site. Now, the company said back in May that it's actively looking for additional locations around the United States and internationally. Apparently, Louisiana may be one of them. And we are. We just don't know if we're the launch site. Parker was saying that a lot of folks, or a couple of folks earlier today, were saying that, no, this is just where they're going to build a lot of things. That's possible. I've heard that that's the place they're going to build the AI data center to orbit the globe, which wouldn't be launching things, I don't think. Although you got to launch it to get up there.
I do have some updates on the infamous Barksdale bubble.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, and you said infamous.
It's according to KSLA, it's the most famous theory in North Louisiana. But
Are you sure?
I've heard about it.
No. About that being the biggest, because I'm from Central Louisiana, which is close to that. And do you know how many theories are up there?
Man, nothing like this one. I can't believe you're from there and you've never heard of the Barksdale bubble.
I've heard of things about like things happening in Arkansas, and then you come back down, but not this. No.
This is from KSLA. The Barksdale bubble is a popular local urban legend claiming a secret force or weather control device protects the Barksdale Air Force Base in Shreveport from severe storms. The circular bubble effect from the Doppler radar happens because radar beams travel upward as they move away. Dry air near the ground can evaporate rain high in the atmosphere before it hits the ground at the Air Force Base.
Oh, well. So basically, Barksdale is not saying that it can control hurricanes. They're just saying hurricanes just don't come here. We can't control the weather. We're just saying the weather just don't come here. I don't know. So that's interesting. So you reported the source, so that's their opinion, and it's urban legend. But that is unique, you would think.
Yeah, I mean, and truly, like, this is not just me being biased, but I do think there's got to be some truth to it, because really, if you watch any storm that comes from Texas, comes through Louisiana, like, if you see a full map of rain on Louisiana, there's this circle around Shreveport where it doesn't go. It's really true. That is true. Like, you can look at any radar map, and you'll see it curves around Shreveport and circles back together on the other side.
Are there other air bases that this is a thing?
I have no clue. I've never looked into it that deep, but I know that's the only one in Louisiana. So
okay, well, that's your next search. Let's see what the Google sends us. Let's see what it sends us. I like his searches. Just say your source like you're saying. That's good. That's good. But yeah, apparently Louisiana may be a perfect site for these spaceports, or maybe a massive construction site for the Starship operation for SpaceX. But they definitely said they're looking, and we may be one of them. And if this happens at the scale that's being discussed, I mean, there are going to be plenty of questions, of course. And this is what local leaders need to be preparing for. Lafayette needs to be preparing for this a lot. Not just regular routine road projects. Those are good too. But go finish North St. Antoine. Go finish all these other ones. Go extend Louisiana more if you can. There's others. I digress. But regardless, I don't know. It's on topic. Abbeville's going to have to look at this. Abbeville, for sure, is going to have to look at their infrastructure. How do they, Youngsville had this problem for a while, and then they had to grab the bull by the horns, and they had to say, we need to go acquire more rights of way, or we need to look at the infrastructure and go from 2 lanes to 4 lanes in certain places, and we need to work with Broussard and the parish, if it can, to finish the Youngsville Broussard Highway. These wonderful places, they're going to be impacted. What are our roads going to look like? I heard one report. I think the mayor president said, I don't know, if 50,000 people are going to be expected to move to Lafayette Parish, is what I understand her to say. I could see that. With something like this. Not 50,000 it's 3,000 jobs, but it's everything that goes in to support this operation. And that is something our parish, Lafayette Parish, is very well suited for. And I'm very curious to see how the local governments across the region, how we forecast for this, and how do we really lay out a plan that makes sense? And are we going to be fiscally disciplined? That means you're going to have to cut some places or raise your taxes. And I don't advocate for raising taxes, not under these environments. And it's really hard to sell me on any environment. but hey, I'm open, right? Everybody's open, even if it's just a little. All right, Park, let's take us a tiny little break, man. When we get back, we're going to open up those phone lines. I want to hear your thoughts on SpaceX. Renee, I see you, baby. We're coming right to you. Everybody else on hold, we'll be right back. What's going on, our streaming folks out there? All of our Rumble viewers, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to have to announce to our radio folks that, well, phone lines are not going to be open, but that's okay. We'll still give a good product for you guys. We're prepared. But I'm going to ask everybody to go to the Rumble chat. We'll see how it goes. But I appreciate you guys. Don Ho, question 8. Everybody's viewing right now. And not sure if these discussions on the break air and KLFY Plus or not, but if they are, we're going to have you guys there too.
It's working right now.
That's our mic.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I switched it back to where the callers could hear it, and now it's working.
Oh, so okay.
We'll have to.
We're gonna give it a go.
We'll give it a go for the first caller, and we'll see if it's working.
All right.
Hey, chat. If whenever we come back from break and we take this caller, if y'all can't hear it, let us know, please.
Yes, please, and we will nip it in the bud. All right. Hey,
how are we getting 2 calls from Renee at the same time?
That's how he rolls. He rolled with 2.
I don't know how he did that. I have no clue how he did that.
Hey, he was on the show when he doesn't cuss. So,
I haven't had that happen yet. So.
Tell the folks about the Saints. I think somebody.
Oh, question 8. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my friend.
I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'm gonna be biased.
He's confused.
I think the Saints are Pretty garbage.
Oh my God! What, Parker?
I think the Saints are pretty garbage.
Unbelievable, Parker.
I think the Saints are pretty garbage. But hey, that's just me. Don't think they have the talent just yet. I think they'll be good one day, but I think you're going to have to wait just as long as we've waited until you're good again. We had about 30 years. You're going to have 30 years of misery, just like us. It's been a treacherous life, really. I'm an Arkansas fan, too, from the great Little Rock, Arkansas. Arkansas and Cowboys combo is not what you want. I'm a loyal guy, though. So I see you, Amy. Audio for the guy on the right wasn't working. That's good to know. His mic, we're trying to figure out. We've been trying to figure out why the caller's audio hasn't been coming through on streaming, but it's been coming through on the radio. So we've been having a couple issues with that. I think it might be up and working today, and so that's why there was little audio issues. Huh?
You see Amy B?
Yeah. So that was weird. That's what I'm wondering, because it was working for my mic, but not for your mic.
Testing 1 2 1 2. Am I on now?
It looks like it on the audio levels.
Watch this. Testing. Yeah, we're on there. And you guys can hear us? Thanks, Amy B. Thanks,
thank you, Amy.
B.
So, good thing this isn't live or on air. I mean, well, this is live, but we're not.
Live.
This is just a little chat with you guys.
It's just the inside crew. Y'all get to see all our flaws,
But
which are many.
we are going to go back to making you wait like 30 more seconds, guys.
30 more seconds. All right, we'll be right back,
We'll be
guys.
right back,
Thank y'all.
guys.
Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Shout out to my friends over there at Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. Go start feeling good today. Man, he was kind of telling me some things we're going to talk about on Wellness Wednesday. You might be surprised. I just love when he comes in, and I like to get his thoughts on other topics too. So thanks, Dr. Kevin at Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic, 983-CARE, 983-CARE. Also, check out my friends over there at Indoor Recreation. Indoor Recreation, go get that custom pool table, go get that swag, and guess what? Lots of deals before the football season. LSU, Saints, and Ragin' Cajuns. And by the way, young man, I think we should wear our jerseys on Friday, and you're not going to wear the same jersey as me, which is unfortunate.
Oh, you ain't going to like the jersey I wear.
I'm not going to even look at it. I'm gonna only look at the wide angle. That's the whole show. I'm just going to do this. Put a wall.
Yeah, you're going to like that star on the side.
Well, you gave it away. Unbelievable. So, I have to say this. At least it ain't Fannie Willis's Falcons. Okay?
That would be even more misery than I'm already in.
Maybe. You're right.
Well, I'd have it bad. Arkansas and Cowboys.
I
have not had a good life.
I just don't understand, but that's okay.
I'm the biggest sports fan you'll ever meet in your life, and all of my sports teams absolutely suck.
Oh, well, don't worry. I grew up in a time where my two favorite teams weren't that great.
At least you've had a Super Bowl and a national championship in your lifetime.
And a World Series, the Cubs.
That doesn't count.
Yo,
You're a fake Cub.
I'm not a fake Cub. I've been watching The Lovable Losers since the 80s on WGN.
Fake Cub.
Okay.
To be a fan of a team, you have to be from there or live there. That's my
Cowboys?
rule. I'm from Dallas.
You do get a pass on that. Well, your rules are off. There is an exception, and I've always said this. Unless that sport doesn't have a team in your state.
Right, which is why I'm a Dallas fan. Because I said I'm from Dallas, I didn't mean I'm from Dallas. I'm from Little Rock. Arkansas doesn't have a pro team.
There you
Dallas
go.
is the closest
one.
one.
So fair enough. That makes sense to me. All right, because the day that Louisiana gets an MLB team, the Cubs then become my second favorite team.
See, people who have second favorite teams I can't talk to you guys. That's not a thing.
That's how
you die about your team or you don't have a team.
Ooh, well, I only have one football team. I only have one of each anyway. Hey, Pelicans came, made it very easy for me. Saints have always been here, but we'll move on. Let's go to Renee. He knows what's going on. Renee, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, I want to say, Louisiana people need to not end up like the hillbillies in the Alleghenies because their location, they have no business. They're in poverty. They ain't really got anything going on. We need all the business we could get. I mean, the SpaceX, the computer storage place for information, all that. We need all that. However, rockets will put stuff in the air. I mean, in plants and stuff. It's to minimize the pollution and get the jobs here. I do believe it'll have an impact on the environment. I don't want to be a green person like the communists, but we do need the business. What took them so long? Louisiana is known for industrial pollution and oil field and everything, and it gives us jobs. What took them so long to put a spaceport or to put a space business over here? We should have have that because we give better rates than Florida ever will, I do believe.
Oh, hey, thanks, Renee. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, what's taking so long? Well, I think it's taken somebody that wanted it to happen, and that's the governor. No offense to anybody else, but I think that his actions have shown that this is a planned out, very, very thought out, phased in approach. The AI data center is what Renee was referring to. I've heard, we don't know what this facility is going to be, but one of the functions is possibly to build this AI data center that would orbit space. Let's take the caller. All right, let's see here. Jerry, what's up, Jerry?
Oh, not too much. I was overheard you guys talking earlier about hurricane situations or whatever else. I have a friend that lives in Florida. He's in a subdivision. It's not a subdivision, but it's a village that they built, and the houses are made to look like houses, but they're actually big old triple doors that house their Provost homes, big old $1 million RVs, but it has to look like houses, but they're right behind SpaceX. And they watch those things go up all the time, but they get hurricanes every year. I mean, the kind of stuff that they building over there can withstand that. Florida gets more hurricanes than us. So we might get one every 20 years, really a real hurricane. So they get those things once a year. No big deal. Have a good one.
Hey, fair point. Thanks, Jerry. Jerry always brings some good stuff. Yeah, that was kind of my take on it too, with the whole hurricane resiliency. But Florida for sure. With Jerry's points, I hadn't thought about it like that, but that was a good point that Jerry made. I would imagine that the team probably has taken all of that into consideration, both tidal effect, weather patterns, all the things. I mean, they're about to build a AI data center that floats around the globe. I mean, I'm sure they have some kind of algorithms to help them. Let's go back to the call lines. Caller, you're live on the Josh Guillory Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, kind sir. Always love when you call in. What you got?
I was watching Mr. Narcan last night, one of the councilmen, and it was up and late at night. And I think it was a recorded show, and he said those AI centers might be communist control. We don't know.
Ooh, well, I definitely would like to get his thoughts on that. Hey,
ask him next time you see him, because I heard him say that. Of course, he was kind of speculating there.
Yeah.
What it could be, information centers, the Chinese are running it, and so on.
You know, that's a great point, and I think probably, not to speak for the councilman, but probably when you, like you said, coming up with the hypotheticals, what could it be? And I would just say this in Globo: anytime we have technology, we should always prepare for the worst and hope for the best, and that means protect in the government, for example. I mean, I've sat in the room. I mean, you got to ask those questions. Are the people's technology vulnerable? Is there something we can do to protect it? Look at voting. That's why I don't get mad at anybody that wants to to advocate for more integrity, because especially with technology, So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yes. Well, let me bounce back to the SpaceX. You can't stop progress, but I heard a guy on the radio the other day. I was listening in Abbeville, and he said a lot of those people are not going to be around here. And the mosquitoes are so big in Pecan Island, they can pick up a duck and fly off. Is that true?
Well, just under, and there's a weight limit too on what you can what you can bring down. I appreciate. I love when he calls in. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Hey, go check out my friend Stan's Auto. Go tell Sterling and all his wonderful crew, his teammates over there at Stan's Auto. Tell them I said hello. Man, you got two great locations. One in Lafayette, right on Johnson Street, near Reds, near the Grand Theater. And then in New Iberia, the old J.P. Thibodeau building, go check them out. Stan's Auto. All of your automobile needs, I want you to go check them out. Parker! Man.
Time out.
What?
Don who over here said Cowboys suck, go Birds.
Oh, man. And
I wasn't even going to hate on you at first because I get Cowboys sucks all the time. I can deal with that, but go Birds, you're doing way too much. I will make sure you're banned from the stream forever.
No way, Don Ho. You're protected. You got amnesty. You got amnesty. What does that say, Amy BBBBB?
It's a quote from Psalms chapter 146, verse 3. Put not your trust in princes, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help.
Well, definitely put your trust in the Lord. Amen. All right. So yeah, this in the break, we'll go to the SpaceX thing. We'll land the rocket ship. But there is something, when we ever have a chance to talk about capitalism or anything like that, this whole Facebook marketplace. You see, a true market is where buyers and sellers voluntarily come to meet, okay? Not necessarily where they come to meet. That's the book definition. I always add in where they voluntarily. So we had to throw that in there because the whole universal health care thing and all that stuff, all right? But this whole Facebook marketplace is such a great example of people will figure it out. People will figure it out. The folks always figure it out. The businesses then adapt. Then the folks adapt. Then the businesses, the market, whatever you want to call it. It's just a beautiful thing. But this is relatively new to me. I'm sure, I'm quite confident Facebook Marketplace has been out there for a hot minute. I know it has. But let's keep on keeping on. So, Park, are you going to go and, if this thing becomes what they call it, a spaceport, okay? Do you envision people getting their lawn chairs out off a highway, whatever?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, this is gonna be a thing, but they might have to let everybody know you can't shoot at it.
Yeah, or point lasers, or do anything.
Oh, you can't do any of that.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I promise you, they will find you.
I'm sure if it's a launch site, I'm sure that there's some areas where it's all kind of mapped out. I don't know. You hear of all these horror stories about government testing. This is not government testing, but even like when they tested the A-bomb, they didn't go as far out as they should have. So for some of the radiation effect, there was some folks that got affected. I'll leave it at that. You can go research it, but this is going to be a big thing. And I don't know what Louisiana's putting on the table to get the project. Those aren't reasons to oppose it unless they are. But for right now, I just think look at the possibility here. I would imagine, and Governor Landry's he understands that things cost. If there's a recurring cost to it, that's probably not the way to go. But he understands capital. He understands one-time investments. A lot of folks do. It has to make sense though. You don't. There's no model out there that says this makes sense here, this makes sense there. But any time that you have incentives, you do reasonably have to ask those questions. So that'll come probably after this announcement. But there is nothing that gives me too much pause right now. That there's just not. Now tomorrow after the announcement, there'll be a lot to talk about. But just think about the possibility here, For generations, Acadiana's economy has been tied heavily to energy. And I don't think that we should turn our back definitely don't turn our back on oil and gas. Lafayette Parish doesn't need to do that, and the surrounding areas don't need to do that. But fabrication, marine services, engineering, I can go on, industrial construction. We don't turn our back on that. We add to it. So now, are we going to add commercial space flight to that economic base for our state? Is it going to be a manufacturing site in the aerospace industry, something that the governor has put us in a good position? The legislature, the governor put us in a pretty good position to be here. But you add that in there, that's a lot. So tomorrow's announcement, that's going to be big. Also scheduled to have the governor on later in this week to talk about it. I'm sure that will be the major topic we're going to discuss. But I'm eager to hear straight from him and see his thoughts and kind of hear about the hard work that went into this. But, don't get ahead of the announcement, but don't let it scare you. And let's just all take it in one at a time. Guys, I enjoyed the show. As always, be careful out there. May God be with you. And my dear friends, be kind.
And the Eagles suck.
Oh, hey, come on. Hey, well, that's not the same. Who dat? Let's go.